back for another inspiration video for the Simon Says Stamp April 2018 card kit. For today's video, I'll be making 2 shaker cards. So to get started on the first one, I'm taking 2 of the butterfly stamps from the stamp set, and I'm going to stamp those using some VersaFine ink, Onyx Black ink. And I'm going to take the smaller butterfly and stamp that twice. And then the larger one I'll just stamp once. Then I'm going to cut those out using my Brother Scan and Cut. Here I'm taking another of the pattern papers, and I'll use these Lawn Fawn stitch rectangle dies to create a frame for my first shaker card. I'll just cut that out using my Big Shot. Taping that down with some micropore tape. It's really good for die cutting. What I use all the time. So here I have my frame, and I'm going to take that same stitch rectangle die, the larger one, and I'm going to trace it around with a pencil. This is just to create a backer for my shaker card, and I need to use that to get it the correct size. And I'm just going to cut just barely inside the line, so it's just a tiny bit smaller than the frame, so it's not sticking over the edges. So then I'm just going to cut out a piece of acetate the same size. And I just use transparencies like you get at the office supplies shop. I'll adhere the transparency with some ATG. Shaker cards were so intimidating to me to start with, but I'm really enjoying making them now that I've kind of got the hang of it. So I'll just use some foam tape and cut that down to fit my frame. Place that all the way around. And I noticed as I was editing this video, there's like a gap in between 2 of the pieces, but hopefully it's not large enough that the little shaker bits can get out, but I hope. So I'll just put that all the way around, and I'm gonna add my little shaker bits, some sequins. These are all from Pretty Pink Posh. This is a mix. It's got some greens and blues in it. I do not remember the name of the color. Oh, and I forgot before I started to go around the inside of the adhesive that I applied. So I went around that with the anti-static powder tool just to keep the sequins from sticking to the adhesive, the edge of the foam tape. And I have 2 different shades of yellow and a pretty shade of pink that I'm including. And I'm also going to take some jumbo glitter. I got this at Walmart. I'm just going to sprinkle that in there too. I think I'll show you the container here in a minute, but it's like a huge container and it's only like $2 or something, but it's really pretty and shimmery. Just remove my adhesive backing, and then I'll take the rainbow panel that I created and try to get that on there straight. And there's my little shaker. So I think I'm just going to adhere that down to my card base. Yes, it's a top folding A2 size card base that I created from some of the cardstock in the kit. I just adhered that with some ATG. And then I'm going to put my little butterflies on here. And I think I use, well, I use ATG on this too. I thought I used my Zig 2-way glue pen, but sometimes I just use what I have handy. And I'll just place those on there. Fiddle with those a little while until I get them where I want them. I'm just trying to decide where to put my sentiment. So I'm going to take another piece of the yellow pattern paper that I used for the butterflies, and I'm just going to stamp my sentiment that says, "You are simply the best," and I'll just trim that down with my little paper trimmer here. And it was a little too big, so I'll just cut that down a little bit more with my scissors. And again, use my ATG to adhere that. So then I decided to take some of the little pink sequins and just kind of place them random on the card just to add a little extra something. So I'm applying some glossy accents to do that. These are really neat little bottles. I got them from Amazon, but it makes it easy to apply just little tiny drops of adhesive. It's a really, really fine tip. And I decided to apply some more sequins around the sentiment. And that's going to do it for that card. Okay, for this card, I've cut a panel from another of the pattern papers. This really pretty rainbow paper. And I'm going to take these square dies from Spellbinders, and I'm going to place these on the card where I want them. And these are going to be my little shaker windows. So I just adhere those down with some micropore tape to hold those in place while I die cut them. Still trying to decide exactly where to place them. And trying to get those straight. I'm not sure if I got them completely straight, but close enough. So I'll just remove these little squares, and I'm going to hang on to those because they will back my shaker windows. So now I've cut a white panel from some white cardstock, and I'm going to use this is a template to see where I need to place these little squares on the white cardstock. And I'll adhere those down with my ATG. Okay, and this is what's going to go behind my shaker windows. I'll stamp my sentiment in the largest one, and it's the "I Adore You," and I'm using the Distress Oxide ink that came in the kit. So now I'm going to adhere the acetate to the back of the rainbow panel with the windows. And then I've applied foam tape all over the back. I kind of went overboard with it probably, but it all needed to be kind of even. So I made sure I got plenty of that on there and made sure I didn't leave any gaps this time. And I placed my little shaker bits in there, more of the same sequins and the jumbo glitter. Let's get that how I want it. Then I lost some footage here somewhere. I'm removing this, and then I lost the footage where I placed the backing on the shaker, but so okay, I've got my backing already on the shaker, and it's the white panel that had the little squares that I cut out. So now to create some butterflies, I'm going to take a piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock, and I'm using the Distress Oxide ink that came in the kit, and the brush that came in the kit as well. And I'm just going to create a little panel to stamp my butterflies on. It didn't have to be perfect because it's going to be kind of, I'm not using the entire panel. So then I'm going to take the same ink and one of the butterfly stamps and just stamp several butterflies. I wasn't exactly sure how many I was going to use. I knew I needed to use 3 butterflies, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to use something else. So I just went ahead and stamped a bunch, especially since I had created this panel and I didn't want to waste it. And I was going to cut it out with my brother's Scan and Cut, so I can just save these and use these for another project. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I guess I decided to stamp some more of this size butterfly. Okay, and there's my butterflies. I'm going to use it after I've cut them out. And I'll just take some, I think this is where I use my Zig 2A glue pen. Yes. And I'm just going to adhere those down to the card over the shaker windows. And the third one I'll place down in the bottom corner, I think. Trying to decide exactly how to place that. And then again, I'm going to take some of the little sequins like I used in the shakers and just kind of randomly place those to give it a little extra sparkle, a little extra dimension. And again, using glossy accents to do that, and my quick stick to apply those. Sometimes it works well, sometimes it does not so much, but I still want to get one of those little jewel pickers. I think they would probably work better for sequins and things like that. Okay, and I think that's going to do it for this card. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I'll be back soon with the last of my inspiration videos. And there's the card. Here's 2 more videos you might like to watch, and if you haven't already, just click on my picture to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Have a great day.